Happy Black History Month. We're focusing on impactful leadership here in the Great Lakes Bay region. And joining us today is the president of the NAACP Saginaw chapter, Terry Pruitt. Thanks so much for being here.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I'm always glad to be here.
Of course. And you know, the NAACP is an organization that's been around well over 100 years. Tell me about briefly about the impact, how it got started, and how your chapter got started.
Well, interestingly enough, the national organization has been around since 1909, but here in Saginaw, we have been in existence for 105 years right here in the Saginaw community. And I often get asked the question, well, what did we need the NAACP for in 1919 in Saginaw? Well, when we celebrated our 100th year anniversary in 2019, we went back and collected a lot of the data and information to give a more definitive answer to that question. Mm-hmm. That is the year that we had the Springfield riots. We were coming out of a global flu pandemic, so there was lots of confusion and chaos around the world. But here in Saginaw, that is the year that two of our major foundries opened, the Marble Iron on the south side of town and the gray iron up here on North Washington. So it was a time when General Motors and those plant leaders were sending trains and buses down to get African Americans to work in those foundries. Mm. Now you have to understand, in those early years, those plants were extremely dirty, filthy.
Out of a great need.
But the migration up here for those jobs and coming out of the Reconstruction and slavery, it was an opportunity to leave the South for a lot of folk. My father came here in 1947 to work at the gray iron plant. So what led to the establishment of the NAACP here in Saginaw was the fact that many of these people arrived, no place to stay, no support services. We have documented records that indicate that people actually slept outside the gates at the gray iron after their shift was completed. They had no place to stay.
Wow. A lot of history there. Let's get into some current things, because there is a lot happening in the world today. And, you know, you all play a role, whether it's health, education, civics. What is the most important thing that you think you are tackling currently in the climate that we're in right now?
Discrimination, equity, inequality, and justice. Those are the three or four things at the very top of the list. I would not sit here and suggest to you that we've eliminated all the problems related to discrimination. It still exists. I think there's real issues around equity. How do we make this country, this nation, this community a place that everyone feels that they can be a part of and they can participate on an equal level and equal basis with everyone else.
And just to wrap up here, you know, how often do you meet and how can people get involved if they want to really dig into some of those issues that you're talking about?
We have a meeting once a month with our membership, but it's a public meeting. It's the first Sunday of each month. If you go out to the NAACP's Facebook page or our website, it will announce the location of those meetings. It's usually in a community church. It's very topical, so we talk about some of the issues that you mentioned earlier.
Okay, awesome. Mr. Terry Pruitt, president of the Saginaw chapter of the NAACP. Happy Black History Month.
Same to you, and thank you for inviting me.
Exactly, thank you as well.